Howdy guys, it's Will Y the Fly Guy here on behalf of WMC Outdoors. Just like to give a quick shout out to Jake, my man. Thank you very much for following me, bud, and I really appreciate everything you do. God bless and tight lines to you, sir. Alright guys, today we're going to be tying the Leopard Woolly Booger out of our Bass Fly series. We're going to start out today with an Orvis size 8 hook and a 3/16 Orvis bead. Remember when always putting your beads on to always match your barb down and the bead goes on, little circle first. We're going to start out with .025 lead wire. We're going to start wrapping. I like to do about 10 wraps. Actually, I think I'm going to do 12. I like mine a little bit heavier. Go ahead and snip both ends. Some people tell me not to snip with my scissors, but I have scissors specifically for snipping wire. I just like the cleaner cut there. Push it together. See how I've pushed it together right there? You want the nice wraps to be touching. And then we're going to take those touching wraps and we're going to push it right here inside our bead. What that's going to do is it's going to allow the bead to rest right on the eye of the hook. That way it's not going anywhere. Y'all see that? It's not going anywhere. Get it nice and tight on there. Then we're going to take our UTC in black 140 denier, and we're going to start right behind the wire. Get a nice thread base behind the wire to lock it up there on the bead, and then work your way back, getting a nice thread base. Once you get a good thread base, go ahead and cut your tag. Move on to the back where we're going to put on our tail. Today's tail is going to be black marabou. As I get it out and prepare it, I'm going to show you all how to prepare this marabou today. There are a lot of videos out there that show you how to tie flies, but they don't tell you how to prepare the materials to tie. So that's what we're really going to try to focus on here in our videos. So here you have your marabou feather. It's nice and flaky. We're going to take the tips of it though, because they have this kind of waxy piece, the base of the feather. We're going to come here and just take the tips as so. We want our tail to be just as long as the shank. I like mine just a tad bit longer, so I'm going to go with that right there. Go ahead and lay it down. Get a nice collecting wrap. Be careful when tying in marabou tails. Your tail likes to spin. Just make sure to check it every once in a while so you don't have it on just one side of the hook. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Okay, took a quick look at it. I like where it is. So now I'm going to snip my butt here with my closed scissors. Be careful. Do not snip your line. I'm going to go back over where I just cut and just kind of get in between those feather fibers just to get it locked down nice and tight. Okay. Now we're going to tie in our grizzly hackle. This is going to be the ribbing or the body of our fly. Here I've already cut this one from the pelt that we have here. I like mine to be just a little bit bigger, a little bit, a little bit longer on the fibers. That way it gives it that nice buggy look. Take the end of your grizzly hackle, kind of spread those fibers out here and just pull them off. The reason we do this is because we need a tie-in point. I'm going to go ahead and snip just a little bit. Lay the grizzly hackle shiny side to you. Go ahead and just tie that puppy in. Okay. Now we're going to cut our butt end here. Now we're going to work our way back to the bead, get a nice layer in that wire, get it set down real nicely. And now we're going to tie in our leopard chenille. This stuff is really cool. My dad sent this to me from Virginia. I haven't seen it before and haven't seen it in any of the fly shops I've been in recently. So we're going to tie this as sparse as possible because I want to be able to save this for future flies. Get a nice loose collecting wrap up there, get it seated real nicely. I like to pull mine straight back as so, that way when I do my wraps coming back it stays on top, but it doesn't really matter. If it shifts in any way, shape, or form, you're just going to be covering it up with your wraps. Work all the way back to the base of your tail. I'm just checking right there. Be careful, you don't want to overcrowd your hackle here, because if you do, the wraps won't come out nicely. Once you get there, go ahead and wrap all the way back up to the bead. And we're going to start wrapping our chenille. Always wrap away from you. You want everything to be uniform with how you do your thread. Go ahead and work all the way up. Ooh, this one's going to be a little close. Okay. Now do your tightening wraps. I like to do 3 or 4. It's kind of awkward doing with your left hand, but with a little bit of practice you'll be able to do it too. Then I like to do a couple wraps up front, just further locking it down. Take your scissors, be careful not to cut your thread. And now we're going to start wrapping our grizzly hackle. Take your grizzly hackle, and again, just like the chenille, we're going to wrap away from us. Getting that nice open spiral body. Once we get to the end here, I'm again going to do my locking wraps. Okay, and here, be very, very careful when you snip your grizzly hackle, because I have snipped my line so many times. Perfect. Then I kind of like to, I'm going to tighten my line back up, pull some of my fibers back, get a couple more wraps in there, and then I'm going to bring in my whip finish. I'm going to do a 5 or 6 turn whip finish here. And then, as my buddy Matthew always says, you got to get your head cement in there. Take your bodkin. Kind of got to be a little careful. Don't want to get on all your hackle. Get it on there nice, let it dry, and you're ready to fish. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on another video here done by WMC Outdoors. We really appreciate you following, and if you could just go ahead and smash that subscribe button down there, I'd really appreciate that. Again, as always, I'm Will Y the Fly Guy. God bless, and tight lines to you all.